What's up, y'all? In this video, I've been in here cleaning up on the shop a whole bunch. We're actually gonna get to make a touch of progress on my old 92 truck here, because what's going on is I'm cleaning up the shop real good and making lots of room to pull the old lady's car in, because in the next video or two we're gonna be pulling the trans out of it finally. And I just really like all that space that big giant truck's taking up. So it would be silly to roll it out of the shop and then have to roll it back in. I still need to pull the motor out of it and rebuild it at some point. So before I go rolling it out of the shop, we're moving forward on removing the engine. You may notice I moved my other engine. That's that 4.6 out of the cop car. It's all tucked away nice. That lawnmower used to be right where the 4.6 is sitting, but I set it up on top of the other lawnmower. Still got, we could stack mowers for days. Still got lots of room. But we're making lots more room for activities. And let me show you where we're at on pulling this motor out. I've had to take a few more things loose. You may remember months ago when we took enough stuff loose to lift the engine up in the air, pull the pan off, verify that she's frigged down there, and now it needs to come out the rest of the way. So since then, I struggled for quite some time trying to get my stupid, easy, quick disconnect fuel lines loose from the back of this. Didn't have the right size tool. We'll get that eventually to get our fuel rail off. And when I went down under the frame rail of the truck down here, there's a spot on the fuel filter, and then there's another spot. The one on the fuel filter I have the tool for. That was no problem coming loose. But the other line, she's never been removed since 1992. And it just wasn't happening, so I pulled the whole fuel rail assembly. We had most of our things disconnected. I just had to come in here, take loose my big giant connector guy for the harness. So most of my harness hangs out here, except for my alternator stuff and whatnot. It all goes that way. And then we had a power steering line, and that was about it, and some vacuum hoses back there. Now I've got that stuff removed on. Down under here, before we had taken the bolts out of that cross member, I just took the nuts loose from the bolts that slide in to the cross member from that transmission mount so it can lift up off of it, because before we wanted the cross member to stay with it so the stuff wouldn't fall down on us and it just slide back and forth. But now we're taking it all the way out, and I've got a whole slew of drain pans and stuff under here, so maybe we'll catch a little more of the fluid that's inevitably gonna come out of our tail shaft here, because I'm pretty sure there's still fluid in here, even though I've got like a gallon or so out of it. Probably still gonna make a big mess, at least once more. I think I might have a good setup up here. That's a really good mounting point. That other corner there, I pulled out a bolt for the intake manifold and put it back in. Up here on the front edge, we're hanging off of the top two water pump bolts, and those are at different heights. So right here, this one chain had slack in it when this one was tight, so I have this bolt through here to take some of that slack out of that chain. That way hopefully all four of our points are evenly helping us lift this 700-800 pound mess out of here. That's engine and trans together, 700-800 pounds, something like that. We're on the 1-ton setting on the guy. But anyway, that may have you caught up with all the stuff I was doing here earlier, and now we can try switching you over to my $20 Walmart tripod I got. Ooh, we got a tripod. And we'll just start picking up on it and seeing what all I forgot to take loose. having a heck of a time getting my guy to turn because you see it's up against the arm. So what we have to do is try to get this bell housing up on top of that core support, and then we can ease off the jack a little bit, set some of the weight of this whole guy down on the truck, and then that should make it where we can turn our guy again and get her levelized out now that the tail shaft is clearing my trans tunnel and all that down there. Easy enough. There's a little progress. Yeah. Camera stand. Now we're at least not pulling the truck out to have to pull it back in just to do that. Alright. Now that we've got the drivetrain pulled, she's the big empty. Right? Underneath and finish pulling out our drive shaft. Right, Muffin? Yep. And then we've got some fuel lines to close up, and our whole fuel rail situation, we'll be getting it hung down lower and closing it all up nice. Then we can put the hood back on. Now we're all buttoned up on the underside of the truck. Got my fuel lines all reconnected there. And we've got the painter's tape. Hopefully that lasts a while with the hood covering it and everything being in the shade. Got the painter's tape covering up all our orifices, because we got the dirt daubers and the different things and the bees and the stuff that like to live in those places. Everything's hung down below the hood level, so we can attempt to go back with the hood. See down here, this line running into that bottle is coming off the return side of my power steering out of the steering box. The pump's not in here anymore feeding that, but that box is still full of fluid. So when we try to steer the truck out of the shop and go park it in the yard, we're going to lose all that fluid out of the box all over the place. So I had this line hooked up to my little catch can I designed myself. See? She's even zip tied in place. So that should catch all the fluid that squirts out of there and not put it all over the shop floor and all over the yard. So now we get to put the hood back on. Yay! First try. Okay. first time that's rolled in like several months now. Couple, I don't know. We got all sorts of room to clean now. Got a bit of a mess to clean up. Then we can sweep on the floor. And the next thing we'll be doing in here is our transmission swap. I know there's a lot of stuff in here, yet not that transmission. This one over here. That'll be our next chapter in the videos, getting the wife's car in here and swapping on that. Right now we're at about a stopping point with the 92 motor rebuild project. The next time we get back to that will either be cleaning up on that truck body real good and degreasing underneath the hood and cleaning out the interior, or the next thing we'll be doing is separating this 302 from that AODE, whatever trans that is. It's also a 4-speed with overdrive, so probably pretty similar. And then we'll be cleaning up on the motor really good, like we did the 4.6, except immediately after that we're going to start tearing down into it, get all the electronicals off the top, all the spinny bits off the front, and then we'll be going down to the bare motor and pulling pistons and rods and just getting it an empty block, because we're pretty sure we're going to need to get a new crank. We're going to take that crank out, go to a machine shop, see what they say about it, but it seems like it'd be nonsense to put over $100 in machining on a old 302 crank with like 400,000 miles on it, when it probably wouldn't cost much more to get a new crank. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.